What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the 13th album by Frank Sinatra. Basically this product is called Where Are You, and it came out in the late summer of 1957. So within the fair about this product here, as far as these pitches going to happen, this is a particular this is an album that was re-released later, particularly originally. The initial album from the 50s did not have 16 songs in here. It's excellent type pitches to get the Spotify edition pitches like that. Nowadays, I think within the digital type fair pitches like that, you can pick up the 16 song edition of Where Are You as far as these fairs going to happen. It also had an album that came out in 1970 that was a 10-track album underneath this name as well within these pitches called The Night We Called It a Day, but I'm going to review this one with the 16 song edition pitches like that. So it's within the fair as far as saying classic album here, pitches like that. Some of these type fairs pretty similar to Now, I have particularly purchased one of the previous albums I reviewed by Frank Sinatra in the wee small hours pitches like that. This particular one has a similar type fashion, a slump type album within these pitches about the fair of Where Are You pitches like that, but it's kind of the fair just less kind of within the commonplace of like the commute, and it's not a swinging Frank Sinatra on here as far as these fairs, minus one song, which is the last song you hear on here, Don't Worry About Me. This is like this is a particular swamped and upside down type album within pitches like the fair, the after effect of just a set of bad personable fair bad hair days as far as these pitches can have. So it's excellent within pitch, but it nails the particular appeal of having like the aspect of like particularly a grayer type album and just more slog type air within the aspect. And really within the aspect, I mean, it has the occasional smoking type song in here, but it's not as much like a typical kind of cigar and pipe type song pitches like that within these pitches. It kind of has the aspect of a little bit kind of debilitated within the sense as far as like the fair. I mean, the product is kind of on here, the snack run type songs pitches like that, some of these morning type jaunts. It has the aspect of like the tradition behind it, but it kind of carries it with like the pitch as far as extra type fair, as far as like just a lot more haphazard and not quite as within the usual kind of normal kind of flights as far as these fairs can have. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying just paying attention to the product, just more dismantle with the aspect, but the particular aspect, it does have the particular flair about it. Just being able to say the malaise on here is pretty apple within the pitches, just having like the tone of just like some good autumns to ruminate, some fairs like that. It's kind of the aspect of more thinking about the fair of what Frank Sinatra's typically known for with some of his hit type songs out of the 50s, 60s, to some of those type products like when you would think of like fireplace type songs and retire type songs, that would be within the aspect of like a 60s, late 50s, 60s type sense of something to listen to pretty much 2 a.m. in the morning, 10 o'clock at night pitches like that just to retire. But the fair about it this time is just the fair is just the aspect behind it is just kind of done within a slump type fashion. So it's just kind of fair, the usual type aspect for some of these type ones. There are a couple songs on here that do have the aspect like some mingle on here within certain type sense. Not terribly full bound kind of social pitches like that. It just deals with the after effect of like kind of deals with like the after effect of dismantle as far as the fair is going to happen. But there are some ones on here like The Night We Called It a Day, and particular one of which I think It Worries Me. Some of these type ones within the pitch, some of these type fairs that have the aspect, and also like there's another one on here. Yeah, I would say Don't Worry About Me kind of has these pitches as well within some of these type products about it. And also the first song you hear on here, Where Are You? So it's kind of the pitch as far as saying, but it's just kind of the aspect as far as just a series of whiplashes that are kind of enough to piss you off a bit within some of these type fairs, just personal type gripe pitches like that. But it's kind of the ordeal as far as saying it carries it with like the tone of having like the PO getting it nailed within pitches like that. But it's just kind of fair as far as saying it's kind of not so much full bound speed bumps as if like turbulence as far as saying that it just is having problems with navigation, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying this has the aspect as far as saying that series of things kind of got on your nerves or just dismantle as far as the stress down. But looking after it, most popular song according to Spotify is basically Autumn Leaves within some of these type of fairs, which considering this album is practically 70 years old, pitches like that is good type fair for Spotify type kick pitches like that. It's kind of the aspects as far as some of these type ones. There's a series of these that do have over 1 million plays, some of these type ones. Second most popular song is I'm a Fool to Want You, some of these type pitches, but Wikipedia does not appear to list like the singles off this product. I mean, I think enough of these probably had the popularity considering the fair about it. There's a good series of these that have clickable articles on Wikipedia, so pitches like that probably had some degree of popularity. Pitches like that had some good degree of flair about it. Pitches like that. But yeah, to say Autumn Leaves, most popular song on here, good pitches. It's like a recessed and kind of forlorn kind of autumn Autumn leaves like a recessed and forlorn kind of autumn gaze, foul marination, kind of get within these aspects just from the tone behind it, just kind of amidst minor kind of town fray. I'd say here pitches like that is kind of good, nice one to pick up lays within a relative haphazard kind of sense. So it's kind of the fair, just kind of the kickback of just getting some intake, some of these type fairs, but just not within the most chipper kind of moves, kind of within pitch as far as this format's going to happen. Just kind of aspect of like definitely paying attention, just like more feels more rescinded, some of those type fairs within it, but just kind of still having the aspect of having to get some things done within the pitch. Some of these type ones, really the aspect in terms like some of those type ones that were kind of on in the wee small hours, like particularly apart from maybe I can read between the lines, there's not a ton. Like I do feel like this is more kind of autumn winter type fair within a more cold brush and just kind of biting kind of times within the aspect of just like not so much a full bound sting, but just kind of miss the aspect of just grief or doghouse type vibes, pitches like that within some of the type fairs, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying within the aspect. There are some songs that kind of go along with like, there are songs that throw in like the aspect of, there are some makeshift songs on here within the pitch, like getting along with the on top of dealing with the upside downness within some of the pitches. It's a good nice one. But yeah, I'd throw in some lays, get some lace chips in there, some pitches like that, just some good type fairs. It's kind of with the pitch. There are some ones on here, like I was saying, the pitch behind this particular album, it's not as much full bound, more of a sober type album, but it's kind of within the pitch as far as like the haphazardness kind of interfering with like the pitch as far as like the consistent kind of tear up as if consistently just drowning in liquor, some of these type aspects, some of those type tones. It has, and there's some good breakfast songs in here, some of these type pitches, the occasional possible kind of wake and bake with some of these type fairs, but it's not as much full bound within the pitch as much of like the complete, it's not as much like a full bound kind of like carnivorous kind of feral kind of tear up pitches like that. But it's not like, it's not bad, but it's just a pitch, but it's just something to kind of know within the pitch. It has some of these, the Lay's songs, the Doritos songs are on here, occasional white grape swisher, some of these type pitches, but just the fair. Some of these type ones, so one of which that's kind of a throwback kind of Frank Sinatra on here would be I Can Read Between the Lines, like a dope springy and factory kind of Sinatra, just out for like a frolic. Good nice one, get some Doritos too, pitch like that. So just some of those traditional type ones, it feels like the birds are chirping outside, the flowers are pink, some of those type fairs is dewy, good balmy typeness, some of those type fairs. Good classic kind of 50s brunch hour type pitches, some of those type fairs within it. Where Are You, the first song you hear on here is nice within these fairs as well. It's like a feeling chipper kind of breakfast and thawing out type song kind of get within these products. Just some pleasantry and small chat types tune pitches like that, some type fairs. Good pleasantry and small chat type tune pitches like that. Just kind of initial standard gap pitches like that in more early hours. Some of those type fairs are relative early hours. Just good for like donuts, some of those type fairs within it, just hotel lobby pitches like that. Some of these type places are just more aspects of like mess hall type noise within a old school type sense, I'd say, within a product, but just good type fare for like rec room type noise pitches like that, just reading papers, standard fare about it. I'm a Fool to Want You has some good type fares about it as well. It's like an extra thought and kind of empty the song I'm a Fool to Want You has some good fares about it. It's like an extra thought and empty kind of whimsical commute to kind of get within these products here. Just kind of a utility run type song, bills pay, some of these type pitches. It's kind of the aspect of just within those fairs, but yeah, to say empty, whimsical, just kind of the pitch of just like not much complex kind of going on, just pretty bare bones type of just Tybalt traffic pitch like that. Just kind of missed the fair, just lackadaisical, but kind of like the opposite of lackadaisical, just kind of foul kind of lackadaisical pitch like that as far as what's going to happen. So just kind of missed the fair behind it, but just standard kind of hop to it, get things done within those pitches as far as the format's going to go. The Night We Called It a Day is nice on here as well within these pitches. Like a dazzled and glittery kind of outdoor neighborhood lounge kind of get within these aspects. Good cater type song within the pitch. The particular fair, most of the kind of foulness factor about this album, within the pitch, listening to this, supposing the screw ups not kind of in place within some of the type pitch is just good type fair to kind of have like the cater type aspects within the goings on within it as far as like party favors pitches like that. Some of the type products just good. Nice one. Good nice fair for like the standard conduct of it. Why was that damn movie? Good nice fair for like the conduct of it. What was so funny about that movie, some of these type pitches, just standard spill of like the recent goings on pitches like that, some of those type fairs just from the aspect, but it's just kind of the fair. This is one of the few type ones that kind of has more starry type glam about it within pitches like that, just more miss the aspect of like kind of more date evening and kind of more gallivant within pitch within the fairs behind it. It has a lot more, it's a rumination type album within the pitch as far as the fair's going to have, and just the after effect of this kind of extra time to kind of have the intake about it within some of those type fairs, but this is a good nice one for like the product, just like within the aspect of activity within the after hours type fair. Good pitch as far as this fair's gonna have. Kind of a start, yeah, good dazzlingness, good pitches like that. Some of those type fairs goes along pretty well. That this one's a little bit the night we call it day is a little bit more residential bound, but the pitch goes along with a good sense of like don't worry about me. It's a good pitch just like that. But speaking of don't worry about me, this is a good quality one here. It's like a grand taste of night flourish. Kind of get within these aspects. This vintage kind of swinging Sinatra. Some of these type pitches good to have like some spritzers. Some of those type fares is good dance type tune. Now it's not as much full bun dance like the ferocity like the full bun, but just kind of pitch like that particular glam of dislike. Traditional type fare, just a banner type 1, and like the staple of the usual strength that he's known for as far as these pitches can happen, just the usual type factor, just kind of within like a throwback type sense as far as those fares going to happen. Not so much throwback, but just kind of a quick and peppy touch base as far as these fares going to go. Rain falling from the skies has some quality about it as well within these pitches. Good type fares, like a wandered and chipper, kind of dewy early sun to get within these aspects as far as the pitch is going to happen. Just feeling apt to tackle some things as far as the fare is going to go. So this one's a little bit different for like most of the standard fare. This one goes along pretty well with, like, I can read between the lines as far as these pitches can happen. Just kind of miss the aspect of just, like, you know what, gonna hop towards some of these type pitches. It's kind of aspect of, like, kind of initiating, like, a good Monday or Tuesday, some of those type pairs. Definitely good type energy, kind of have, like, the beginning of the week within some of those type aspects in the tone of disc, minus the usual type funk that particularly goes along with this is good. It still has that good solemn type appeal about it, but it does have some tackle about it as far as the pairs can have some good type pitch about some of that. Lonely Town has its appeal as well. Good pitches for this song within these aspects as well. It reminds of like a Bruce kind of get up and go from like a drive-in movie. Some of this type fares just feels like definitely, particularly like the transit type scene as far as like the hero character getting ready to head out for some of those type fares just after a bad set away. Some of those type pitches within the tone. Some of those type products just kind of in a morning shift pitches like that. It's kind of a pink sky. Kind of have like a bleezy, something like that. Good type fare. White grape swisher. Some of these type aspects. Good couple zigzags. Some of those type fares. Just a biscuit and some gravy. Some of those type pitches within the tone. So just kind of aspect. Good nice one to have like the relative type fare. Just in that in between type sesh pitches like that. Feels very Hollywood-like, some of these type pitches within the tone. Just kind of has like a relative, in my opinion, has like a relative ruffle type fare about it. But it's just a good type pitch, kind of have like some in-between type moments just within the fare, just like transit type fare, just kicking off like a good morning. Some of those type pitches within a relative aspect. I mean, it's foul, but it kind of has the aspect just a little bit of, has aspects of pep in there, just some pick-me-ups, good pitches like that. Some type of deals. Definitely an excellent breakfast. Definitely an excellent 50s breakfast song, I'd say, within pitches like that. There's No You is nice on here as well within these pitches, like a dope, fickle, endure kind of. There's No You is a nice one within these pitches as well as like a dope, fickle, endure kind of morning to get within these aspects here. Just an empty kind of McDonald's earliness, I'd say, and just some lethargic kind of tugs pitches like that. So it's kind of within the ordeal. And this one's kind of like a counter to like I would say Lonely Town pitches like that. It's kind of one of those type ones. It's more within the pitch. It just like I'm a fool to want you. Some of these type fares it just kind of is in the out and arounds, but just kind of more like a day where this is more tugging and just kind of the fare about it. The energy's not as much full about, and they're probably in need of like some sort of coffee or pick me up within those fares kind of get things back on track. But it's just kind of the fair, just probably a few of those weekdays in there where McDonald's isn't helping, pitch like that, just lethargic, just not really even in the mood to smoke. Not really even in the mood to smoke within pitches like that. Just some of those type fares, just the pick-me-ups, kind of haphazard, but just the pitch as far as some of those type ones from the aspect, just kind of has the fare. Laura's a hit song as well within these pitches, like a dope, woozy, and melodrama to get within the aspects of it. Just a late shift kind of weaving, I'd say, within the products here. Just heading to like retire as far as these pitches can happen after like a night of crunk within the aspects of it. So kind of the after effects, like some jive type fare pitches like that within those type ordeals. Probably haphazardly, kind of the aspect, just like some leftover tipsiness, kind of flush type feelings pitches like that within the aspect, just like the groove on the way home pitches, some of those type fares. Not to recommend like the commerce of it, having the full bound kind of tear up pitches like that, but just finding a way home, some of these type pitches within the tone, just like the after effect of just getting ready. Just had a good night of rounds, time for sleep as far as those pairs can have just within pitches like that, just kind of after most particular type fare amongst it. Kind of one of the ones off this album that has a little bit more within the aspect of like the leftover glam type factor, but it's kind of within the pitch as far as saying it's just more within the pitch of just different angles to how like the nightlife is kind of shown this time. It's just kind of the pitch. There is socialize on here in some of these type moments, like some sparkiness, good type fares within pitch, but it just has the aspect of this, like, it just doesn't take center stage as much full bound within these pitches first and foremost. Kind of a section type feel, not like that's a problem, but just pitches like that, I'd say. Trying to think of some other ones I haven't talked about on here, good pitches like that, particularly, Where's the One is nice on here as well within these aspects, like a solid commerce to get, just some good solid Whereas the ones like some solid commerce ambience to get, just the 50s kind of marinate, I'd say here, get your head right, some of these type pitches, just recover from like the aspect, like the foul type factor, just kind of realign some of these type pitches within tone about it, grab like some talk about some of these type pairs, just a good fit to kind of have. So it's kind of relative kind of car foot taps, some of these type pitches, just a decent kind of groove with like, not so much a full bound, I mean, it's pretty sedate for like the tone of like how the fair kind of goes along with it, but just a relative kind of, it's just some smoother type traditional pops as far as these pairs go. But yeah, definitely some good marinate to kind of get in the 50s. Testing good aspects, kind of get centered and mellow out as far as this pitching. I definitely grabbed some Taco Bell pitches like that just with the fair. Not a ton of real fast food extremity kind of jaunts, but just with a pitch, kind of throw some of that in. Good pitches like that. Trying to think of some other ones I haven't talked about on here. I Cover the Waterfront has some quality about it as well within these pitches, like escaping kind of extra time to get like some unsuccessful air as far as these pairs can go. Just good, nice when the smoke slows. Some of those type pitches, just some plainer kind of. So it would kind of be like some plain and kind of plainer errands as far. This particular song would be like some plain and kind of plainer errands as far as those pitches can happen. This particular song is like a decent and solid enough kind of detour within these aspects for us the fair's gonna happen within the fair as far as talking about smoking slow. Some of these type pitches here, just kind of the aspect of this. So, further type ones like some of these type ones like Autumn Leaves and I'm a Fool to Want You. Some of these type ones within the pitch. Other type ones like There's No You. Some of these type aspects within the tone as far as some of these type ones just kind of get the smokage in there to kind of help clear your head some of these type pitches, but just kind of another type one like the particular There's No You. Some of these type ones, some of these commerce type ones where the aspect just kind of feels more bare bones pitch like that. Just some plainer errands, kind of vanilla type fare, just in a more blank canvas kind of empty type aspects, not just empty type canvas pitches like that. Some of those type fares, but good type fare. Get some things done within the product of it, just with an aspect, keeping the productive type fare going, pitches like that. Trying to think of some other type ones on here within these aspects, just kind of the aspect of it. Baby Won't You Please Come Home is a hit song on here as well. It's like a good after hours kind of loafing and quiet dining to kind of get within these aspects. It's kind of one of those type ones that Frank Sinatra would kind of have within these pitches, but just kind of the opposite of like the usual. This is just kind of some blasé kind of time-wise, so it's just got some of this type fare just feels like Frank Sinatra without his mojo. Now the mojo is on here, but it's just kind of the pitch. It's not the traditional type fare like the more success type fare within a pitch of like Solitary, Chunk of the Deuce, and just Victory Signs pitches like that. It's not as much like a green light type album within these pitches. Not to say it's yellow light either, but it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying within the aspects, as far as the tone's going to happen, just kind of more haphazard. Kind of getting Frank Sinatra doing the antithesis of usual kind of strengths that he's known for, pitches like that. But it just has some of these type of appeals. It Worries Me has some good glam factor about it as well within these pitches. Like a great after hours kind of lounge and late drinks kind of groove to get within the tones behind it here. Just a mingle type song pitches like that. Just some haphazard kind of host fare within the pitch behind it. It's kind of within the swing of it as far as these pairs going to happen. Just the aspect behind some of these type ones within the pitch, like the usual type fare, but just the pitch as far as just having like the socialized kind of re-thrown in pitches, having like the socialized thrown in some of these type pitches with an aspect of just kind of in between like the relative series of bad days or just the haphazardness within tones as far as the pitch can happen. Just probably some kind of lame work days also within those pitches, kind of aspects, some of those type tones, the standard gripe and pitches like that, but just got a good kind of past 8 p.m. kind of mingle within these pitches. Another one that kind of has that antithesis kind of Frank Sinatra on here would be Maybe You'll Be There. It's like a ruffled kind of extra thought to get within these aspects. Just feeling scattered, I'd say, about some of these type songs within it. Feeling scattered, I'd say, about some of these type fares within it. Just some retire music without the good type factor about it. So just kind of aspect getting like these particular lounge type ones, but just kind of the opposite of like the usual conduct of what retire music kind of has within the aspect. Not quite as chipper and quite as resolved pitches like that kind of within the ordeal. Not quite as much within the aspects like the tone of just like less glee type factor, I'd say, within pitches like that. It was kind of fair as far as saying this traditional type fare within the conduct, this fireplace type music, definitely some good winter brush kind of have. Getting like a taste like end of the year type fare, beginning of the year wintry type fare within pitches, just without the Christmassy kind of tones, pitches like that. So this good type product like some fireplace and this overall lounge type music. Just have like cocoa or coffee, eggnog, some of these type pitches, some of these type tones with that. The product just like some spark like a couple zigzags pitches like that within these recent times. With the 50s type fare, it'd probably be more tobacco pipe. It'd probably be more tobacco pipe, not to recommend tobacco, but just the pitch as far as saying just get some zigzag fare kind of going within pitches like that. Just kind of have pick-me-ups kind of thrown in within like the haphazard kind of personal type blasé pitches like that. But just the ordeal is within the fare. So it's just kind of product just saying the pick-me-up kind of fare is just kind of more haphazard within pitch, just the product to kind of keep that, because I feel like the moroseness, the more this particular album has a swamp type fashion, that particular, it's quite easily recommended to have like some degree of extra type curricular type stuff to pick me ups and good products to like some party favors, pitches like that to kind of keep things right within the tone of it. But in certain senses, it kind of feels like some of these products may possibly not even be as full bound working within some of these type fairs. So it's just good to pitch to have like the additional type product you can have for this, because it's not really in terms of like buddy type fair within the pitch. It's another product just as far as saying like the pals and pitches like that in terms of like some socialized. It doesn't feel as much full bound that like homies are along for the ride, pitches like that. Some of these type folks to kind of chunk up the deuce with, smoke a bit, have like a movie like particular Minority Report on, or one of those type ones, Pulp Fiction, some of those type fairs within it. So it's kind of the pitch, Mad Max, some of those type ones within the aspects, kind of the tone as far as saying. But looking after it here and within the product as far as saying, just some good type fairs about it. But I think I basically more or less covered the rest of these tones on here. I think there's one last one I haven't talked about, which is I think of you. I think of you as like a mishmash, kind of wake ups and saunter, kind of get within these aspects here. Just some slippers and pajama fair pitches like that within the relative early bird. Then the relative kind of early bird nest, just ready some ganja, I'd say, pitches like that. Just have some kickoffs going, just figure out some YouTube videos to watch, or just within the product, like the action type fair within the aspect, just something. The early hours kind of curriculum to kind of get to within those products as far as like the kickoffs, kind of go good pitches like that. So I think. So yeah, that particularly takes care of it. So 10 out of 10 album. The social score I'll go ahead and give. Now within the product of it, the fair, the quality of this album is definitely on here as capital type aspects as far as like the fair or disc, dealing with upside down type formats, just kind of missed the pitch of just having like some product of just the getting like the bills getting standard utility and day fare taken care of within the pitch amongst the aspect of this kind of brushier and kind of more harsh kind of autumns, winters, some of those type fairs, holiday seasons, even within throwing into that, just not so much celebration of holidays, but just the pitch of it being in the neighborhood. But it's just kind of fair as far as saying, like I was saying, minus like a couple songs, there's a couple date evening type songs, a little bit of mild socialized within the product, like some gather pitches like that within fairs, like some lounge type aspects. But in terms of like traditional kind of Sinatra on here, that's kind of the fair of what he did, like in the 50s, 60s, more with like the glam type factor, some starry step outs. Just doesn't have the banner type. It's kind of the aspect, I think that was the fair about this particular fair, but it's just kind of aspects for us saying the socialized type factor on here. It's more of an intake type album this time. So just to be able to say, I'd probably say I'll go ahead and give the social score like a 9.75 just from the pitch. I mean, the quality is definitely on here, but it's just the pitch as far as saying, I think the aspect behind it, it's just the tone that you get these particular ones on here. But for listening to this with folks that want to listen to Sinatra or something like that, it's kind of fair. It's a little bit more bruised with the aspect that people are probably going to be questioning why you're so blue and pitches like that within those tones as far as listening to some of these. So it's kind of fair. I mean, it has enough to probably say some of these type ones, like The Night We Called It a Day, and like Don't Worry About Me. And then there's like another one, like I think it's Where Are You? Some of these type pitches on here have some good type product within some of these type aspects, and I can read between the lines. But it's kind of the pitch. It's more, not to say it's dicier, it's just more within the pitch. It just doesn't have like the social face is just not on here as full bound this time, pitches like that. So it's kind of fair. It's just kind of more preoccupied and upside down to sounds good pitch. But it's excellent type fair to get that. Do appreciate that product. Some of these bruised type albums do hit pretty heavily pitches like that, but it's just kind of fair. So in terms of the future, the unfortunate aspect within these products is Frank Sinatra's been deceased since like the late 90s as far as these first happened, so it's quite some time. I mean, he was born like in the early 1900s, so his time, obviously this album being almost 70, and he was pretty much in his 40s around this time when this particular album came out. So it's kind of the pitch as far as saying, but within the product, just within the aspect, going to get to some further Frank Sinatra later. I do have some ones that are going to keep surfacing pitches like that, some except where it is, but this is a classic pitch like that, another good staple, kind of a themed type slump of an album pitch like that handles like the ness of getting like the tone of getting like these products kind of done within utilities and day fare taken care of with some degree of pick-me-ups kind of thrown in if you can stomach it, pitches like that, but it has some good type fares about it.